Hey guys! Surprise second video! Since I was in Georgia last week, I figured I would make two this week, and it got really warm in my apartment, so I took my sweater off. So one of the other things that someone asked me about yesterday was fantasie-pastorale asked me about warm-ups and about tone exercises, and I thought we would talk about that too. So I'm relatively inconsistent in my warm-ups in that I always do them, but they're always different. So I thought I'd talk about the different things that I do and the different things I like and some of the things that would be good if I had access to them or if I felt like doing it. As some of you guys know, I rotate between 3 technical books. So the Reichert 7 daily exercises, there's 7. And then the Tough and Go 17 daily exercises, which Flute Bible, we all know about it. And then my teacher in Toronto swears by the Julius Baker daily exercises, which no one knows about, but it's a great book, and it's based on modal scales. So it's much more extensive than either the Reichert or the Gobert, but it takes forever. So those 3 I rotate through. I always do some kind of interval work and some kind of scalar work, and alternating between slurred and articulated. And it's really important to have that kind of variety. The reason I rotate between the 3 is because, 1, I get bored, and 2, there's research to show that if you do the same thing every day, you're more likely to get hurt. And as some of you guys know, I had carpal tunnel 2 years ago, and so I really make an effort to rotate everything so that I'm always doing something different, and my hands are never getting into the same rhythm. And it's also good because I'm covering normal scales, modal scales, intervals, the weird Reichert patterns that I'm terrible at. It's a good variety of things. And I think that's one of the things that I really recommend in your warm-up is mix it up. Don't always do the same things, and don't always do them in the same order, and give it as much variety as you can, and then it gets way less boring. What my boyfriend, who's a trombone player, does is he's actually doing trumpet etude or trumpet exercises. You know, if you're a music major, you know you've heard these trumpet exercises a million times. But he's playing them on trombone, and so that's a different take on things. So it's an interesting concept that I've been thinking about, and yes, our woodwind instruments are much more different, but there's something to be learned from clarinet methods and from oboe methods, and I always recommend when you're sight reading taking other instruments' etudes, so why not do their technique too? I mean, obviously do that within reason and make sure that you're not doing something that's bad for your instrument or illogical for your instrument, but if you're getting bored, find other etudes or find other technical books and see if they help. And then in terms of sound, I almost always do my long tones from the Moïse de la Sonate. Long tones are really important, and it's important to do them consciously. You're not just playing them to play them. You're listening for sound, you're listening for vibrato, you're listening for intonation. Long tones are a great chance to figure out, 1, what your instrument does on certain notes, and 2, to get better at your own intonation and fixing things immediately. Practice them with a tuner, practice them with a drone, whichever method you like, or mix it up, as I've been emphasizing previously, and try to really think about your playing. Long tones aren't just for air. They aren't just to get your playing going in the morning. They're also to work on things. So do it. My teacher here not in Toronto. I'm not in Toronto anymore. What am I talking about? My teacher in Indiana always talks about making sure that your exercises are doing more than one thing at a time, because that's really, really good for time management. Because, I mean, as a music major, I have 3 to 4 hours to practice a day, especially since I don't take classes really anymore. But those of you in high school or those of you in undergrad have a million things you're doing. So if you can have an etude or an exercise that has double duty or triple duty, that's really great, and that can do a lot more for your playing. So there's that. In terms of sound, I always sing and play, which is a very flute thing, and for those of you who don't play flute, that's kind of a different thing. But singing, just without the instrument, is also really good. It gets your air moving, it gets your resonance open, and it also gives you more musical ideas, because a lot of the things that we're doing in our pieces are modeled on singing and speech, and the way you would normally say things. So singing them out loud and singing them without your instrument can be really helpful. I also do a little bit of just kind of stupid improv. I'll pick a theme or an idea or a key I want to play in and just mess around for like 5 minutes. That's something that my teacher here really emphasizes and wants us all to do. And it also kind of frees up your mind, because I'm a very straight-laced person. I'm a very controlled person, and the idea of improv scares me. And so starting my practice session with 5 minutes of improv every morning is just nice. It loosens up some of that control I have over my playing. It gives me less anxiety about uncertainty. And it also just gets me thinking about my instrument and gets me thinking about the way music interacts with itself. And it doesn't have to be good. You don't have to do it for people. It's like in the privacy of your own practice room. And you don't have to do anything with it afterwards. It's just a good experience to go, okay, I'm gonna play something creepy today. And for 5 minutes, you figure out a way to play creepily. Or like, I'm terrible with B major. I'm just gonna play everything in B major for 5 minutes. Or my articulation sucks. I'm going to play something and everything's going to be articulated and every note has to start the same. And so you're removing the music reading part from it, but you're still working on things and you're still applying things to your playing that can translate into your rep. But I think the reason we warm up and the reason we do technique is that it can apply into our repertoire. So you're constantly thinking about things in your repertoire that you need to work on, and you find exercises to do that. Which is also why I change things all the time, is because I'm constantly working on different things. So yeah, I don't know if this is helpful, because it's not super specific, and for those of you who don't play flute, all of the technique books I just listed off are not helpful. Unless you want to try them. I mean, we all play TNG for hours on end. If someone else who doesn't play flute wants to join us, I'm sure we'd be happy to have you. But yeah, so I hope this is helpful, and if you guys have any video ideas or things you want me to talk about, always let me know. I'm always happy to make these videos based on what you guys want. And yeah, again, if you guys have auditions, great, good luck. I know this is a really stressful time of year, so I'm hoping that you guys all can just buckle down and do well.